Hey, what's up, and welcome back to Interpreting the Stars, where today we are talking about Yesterday, which is a 2019 musical, fantasy, comedy, drama, romance. It's still a lot of different genres, but they all are woven together rather well. It's about this guy named Jack. He's pretty normal, average, everyday guy. He's a musician. He's kind of a one-hit wonder, except his one hit isn't that wondrous for anybody that actually listens to it. That is until there's a blackout that occurs in the middle of the night, and he is struck by a bus unconscious, and when he wakes up, he's kind of woken into this alternate universe of sorts where the Beatles don't exist. And it's not just the Beatles that don't exist. A lot of random things don't exist, like Coca-Cola, for instance. But he decides that he cannot live in a world where people don't know who the Beatles are, so he decides to write the Beatles songs and release them as if they were his own. Copyright infringement for the win. He soon begins to feel guilt. Of course, that's kind of predictable, as this is kind of a be careful what you wish for film. The nice thing about it is it doesn't fall victim to the tropes of movies like this, where you hit your head and the whole thing's basically a dream. It's not like that. It does remain consistent, which I appreciate. But before I start talking about the nitty-gritty, I first want to say I might be a little bit biased about this film because I, like Jack, am a huge fan of the Beatles. Had I woken up in the same type of world, I may have done something similar, maybe not exactly the same. I might sing the songs and people might say, "Oh, where did you hear that?" And I'd be like, I don't know, something on the radio or something like that. I wouldn't go full-blown copyright infringement, but I understand where he's coming from by doing it, because at the same time, he feels a little bit of a lack of acknowledgement because he is a hardworking musician, but nobody really knows who he is. A big reason why I like this movie specifically is because of the Beatles songs. I think I would appreciate listening to the soundtrack as much as I appreciate watching the movie, but there is a lot to gain from watching the movie as well. It's a very lighthearted, feel-good film, in my opinion. It's not the best movie of the year. However, I did enjoy it incredibly, to the point where I wouldn't mind owning it because I like these characters, I like the songs. I had a big smile on my face when watching it because it's just that kind of movie, in my opinion. It's not a breakout film. It's not amazing acting or anything like that, but you do feel the characters, you do feel their chemistry together, because a big part of the movie is in fact a romance, so of course you need that chemistry, and it does have it. And especially the movie works very, very well if you are a fan of the Beatles already, because there are definitely some shout outs that you're gonna really appreciate. If you're not a fan of the Beatles, there's something wrong with you, but you might not like this movie anyways. I'm just gonna say that this is one of the best feel-good movies of the year, if that counts for anything. Anyways, this movie acts kind of like a coming-of-age film, so obviously the balance is a little bit imbalanced in my opinion because nothing's actually happening. The character's not actually trying to do anything specific, and because of that, it kind of feels like the movie's going nowhere, or at least you're not entirely sure where it's going. There's just no clear-cut path that the character's trying to do. That's one of the reasons why I'm not always the biggest fan of coming of age. But I do like the characters, I do like the story going on. I'll put it as simple as humanly possible. If you enjoyed the trailers and it made you really interested to watch the movie, you'll probably be happy. The trailers did the movie justice, and the same vice versa. If the trailers did nothing for you, then I'm not sure the movie will do anything for you either. But in general, I think it's a pretty decent movie. I think it's actually unpredictable in parts. All of the songs are edited together pretty well, actually. It's honestly hard for me to find faults in this movie, specifically things about the movie that are bad, because I don't think there are many bad things about the movie. There are lots of good things, though. The only thing that I can think of that's not the greatest is the fact that it's coming of age, or at least it feels like it, because the character's not actually trying to do anything, just sing a bunch of Beatles songs. And how many Beatles songs are there? About 1 billion. So if we just have this character sing 1 billion songs, the movie's going to be really long and feel like it will have no end. And it doesn't exactly do that. But could it? I guess technically it could. But like I said, the characters are good and the chemistry is good, so that kind of overpowers the fact that it is coming of age. What did I rate this movie? 83%. 83 out of 100 possible stars. If you're curious of where that ranks in my 2019 movie scores, in 7th place. Guys, tell me what you thought of this movie Yesterday in the comments down below. And as for YouTube, make sure that you subscribe to me, hit that like button, hit the bell to be notified when I come out with my next review. And until then, peace out!